All right, today we are headed up to Star, South Carolina to meet with Bobby Frizzell, a fellow YouTuber who has an F100 parts truck that he's willing to part with. And we kind of want to get it because it's got some things on it that we need for our 72 F100. But today we're taking a little hot hatch, a 2014 Focus ST. This thing is a lot of fun to drive, I'm not gonna lie. Away we go. What we're doing here is we are going and looking at this truck, which is an XLT Ranger truck, long bed, for parts. There are some things that just aren't available on these trucks. For instance, the bed plate is not available. I want to see if there's enough good bed plate on this thing in order to fix some of the issues that our truck has on the bed plate. I also want to see if the cab is in better shape than my cab. My thought process here, which may be a little weird, is to take that cab, do a full restoration and readiness on the inside of the cab, since this truck is a power steering truck, and just flip everything over to my frame to make it nice. The price is right on it for me, so it's something I'm really interested in. All right, well, I got a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk about how I know Bobby Frizzell. Now, Bobby Frizzell knows Riley from Riley's Rebuilds, which I know from Instagram, and I've known Riley for a good while because she contacted me. So Riley got some suspension components, installed them on her car. She has, I believe, a Fairlane, like a 66, and went in a different direction. And so she turned the parts over to me. Now, these parts are from Autocrafters, which is one of our other advertisers over on Man Mechanic. So we're going to be installing those parts on Wonky off camera, but they are from Autocrafters. So that's the association for me with Bobby Frizzell, because Bobby delivered the parts to me a couple of weeks back, and we got talking, and he has that F100. Well, this is pretty neat. I think we'll do it. Oh, here comes Bobby. Bobby, it's green.
It's green.
It's full of stuff.
It's almost green. It's got a little
pseudo green.
It's kind of green.
Folks, this is Bobby Frizzell. Phil, I was telling you about on the way up here. Bobby has a YouTube channel. You want to go check it out. He's like me. He's just out here putting content out, trying to make people happy. And he, as I told you before, brought some parts down to me in Aiken, well, North Augusta now, and we just got to talking and realized we enjoyed each other's company enough that I got to asking him about what he had, and he has this.
Yeah, that you need.
Yeah, no. I don't know if I need it, Bobby, but I'm sure interested in it.
This is a gem.
Yes,
she's
is
mint.
Low miles.
Low miles. Driven to church on Sunday by a little old lady.
On these tires, she was a daredevil.
These was a factory option in '71. They came on a truck. Those are valuable. They're rare.
Yes. Rare.
The air in them is at least 60 years old.
It's going to be one of those cases where it's going to start going up in value to you if we talk. So maybe I should just tell you not to say anything else.
There you go.
What we got though is it's a Ranger XLT, which is a pretty cool little truck. We got the badges on it here. The trucks, I'm not interested in a lot of the truck. I'm interested in some things in the truck, like if there's enough bed plate left in decent condition, I'll cut some of the bed plate out to fix our bed. The cab on it looks like it's in pretty good shape, but we're going to go over a couple of things. But I wanted you to meet Bobby. Go out and check out his channel. He does a bunch of stuff just all over the map. He's a drag racer. Yeah. He's got a 63 Galaxy, so we got that in common as well. His runs better than mine right now.
A little bit.
Since mine doesn't run at all.
A little bit.
So check his channel out, see what he's got going on. We're going to go into this thing, and I'm going to tell you a few things to look out for when you're looking at buying one of these type of trucks. All right, now one of the biggest issues on an F100 that you're going to encounter as far as rust is going to be cab mounts. Cab mounts can be a big pain to replace. They're hard to do on the truck. You'll have to end up jacking the cab up. We did a video on replacing the cab mounts. You can see the link to it below me here. But that is something that you're going to want to look at. Make sure that these cab mounts are solid. Look at them all the way back down in here, because Ford wasn't great about doing a lot of rust preventative back in this area of these trucks, but these look pretty solid. Other thing is your floor pans. These floor pans feel pretty good. They're certainly better than the ones I had in my truck when I bought it. Yeah, it looks really nice. Another place to look at on these trucks is back here at your cross member for your free dirt daubers, Bobby.
Those cost extra.
That's why I'm pulling them off. These cab mounts that run across here are really bad about rusting out on some of the trucks from up north and areas up around Virginia where my truck came from. But this one, these cab mounts feel really solid. So this is looking like a good candidate for us to use as a cab swap on our F100, which is one of the main reasons I'm thinking about picking this truck up. Another thing to look at is your doors. These trucks are bad about rusting out back behind here. There's a little rust right here. The outside stuff's not that hard to fix. It's just a little bit of curved metal, and Lord knows we've done enough of that on the show. But you want to look at the inside of the doors next. All right, so doors. On an F100, these doors are somewhat problematic down here in the bottom edge, right up next to this line here. For some reason, they like to take on rust in these spots. The only thing I see on this cab that kind of worries me is some of the rust I'm seeing right here in this sill area. But it's mostly surface, and it's kind of angry looking rust, but it's not bad enough to the point where I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to mess with that because of this. Another place that these trucks see a lot of rust is these bubbles underneath here. This one's got a little rust in the corner of this bubble, but the rest of the bubble's okay. There's just a little bit of flat plate rust that can be fairly easily fixed right here. And then these lower cab corners can have some rust problems. A lot of that comes from these screws going through here for these cab mounts. If they didn't have any screws here, these trucks would hold up pretty well in this area. But water is going to find its way. Shot's nice though. All right, taking my life into my very own hands, I am up here on the top of this ramp truck that Bobby has, which by the way is pretty dang cool. If I had time today, we would talk about the ramp truck, but maybe if you guys want to see something on his ramp truck, we can come back up here, or he can drag it down to our joint and we can talk about it. A little bit of rust inside of the lip here. Again, most of what I'm seeing is fairly easy repair rust. It's not like doing a cab mount. It's not like doing a floor pan in these trucks. This area up here on these trucks is usually really bad about rusting from the inside out. There's a ton of moisture in here. They'll tend to get rusty in the top sides. Even this area around this assembly point can be a rust spot if you're not careful. But I don't find that being such a bad problem as the cab tops being the issue for rust. So you're looking for rust right along that sill line right here. One of the cool things on this truck is it has the XLT chrome trim package here. So if you really wanted to get sporty with what you were doing, you could go in and add the banding, which National Parts Depot carries, to go around the back lower section of this. And it's got the cool cab light. I'm just hoping NPD has a very pretty replacement. I don't know why I'm worrying about that on my truck. All right, another spot that these trucks can really get rusty, there's a spot down in here inside of the fender where your inner fender support runs down, and in this lower corner down here, they can get kind of rusty. This fender's actually not in too bad a shape. It could possibly be reused. Good for me because I need fenders on both sides on the front of my truck because both of mine are badly damaged. Another place that I have seen these trucks rust, especially in areas where you get a lot of pine trees, you get pine needles that fall down inside the cowling on the truck, and then the dirt collects and it fills up the scupper, and then this area right in here will start to see some rust bubbling. I actually see a little bit of rust bubbling going on the cab on the truck we have right now, so that makes me a little bit more inclined to possibly do something with a different cab on that particular truck. Plus, this truck is already a power steering truck, and Bobby and I think this is probably originally a 302 truck, which would be good if we ever decided we wanted to do, oh, I don't know, a 351 Windsor and an E4OD or something like that out of a later model, Aero nose or something of that nature. Preferably one with a roller cam in it, because, you know, power. I'm going to open it up. Look at that, huh? You don't get this kind of filth anywhere but in a truck that sits around. Most of the trucks anymore that you're going to find, they're like this inside. Now this, Bobby, is this, come in here for a second, is this what was, this is what it was like when you picked it up, right?
This truck's exactly like it was when I picked it up. kind of a time capsule with all the stuff in there that the gentleman had in mind to use at some point in time. Parts, there's some new parts in the box that the box has seen better days. So
Headliner's seen better days too.
It needs some duct tape. It's
That's charitable.
yeah. You get it in colors now, so you can get the duct tape to match the headliner. So
But you can't get that perforated headliner anymore. They make one they paint the dots on it now.
Really?
Yeah, they don't. It's not perforated anymore.
You would think it would be more costly to paint 1,000,000 dots than just a
Asian rim labor.
yeah.
I'm not going to go any further than that.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna kind of try to peel through here and look at a bunch of the different stuff that's going on. Man, yeah, it's all here, even down to the very, very wonderful radio added to it with the speaker control, which I'm not sure where the speakers are at.
Needs a Whalen cassette in there.
It does.
And would be rolling.
It'd be really cool to get the new Whalen stuff that's coming out, because they're releasing stuff that he had recorded.
I have heard that.
So that's coming from somewhere. I don't know where.
The miracle of modern technology.
There's a little piece missing, Bobby.
Well, that's because back in the day this truck was so fast that if you wasn't careful, it'd blow its bumps off. That's that was in the owner's manual. You had to keep her a little slow.
It's got fur. I'm not going to say what that looks like, but you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well,
He needs a little shave.
a little shave.
Somebody needs to have that looked at.
Well, they left it on her so you could patch it back. All you gotta do is just unroll it right down through there, and a little tack here,
a little tack
there.
here, a little tack there.
Yeah.
2.5 months later, you'll be good to go.
I've seen your show. You're pretty good with tacking metal back in place.
I'm good at tacking it. I'm not very good at welding it. So I'm not going to be using anything off that, so that's just A-okay. Well, Bobby, you got a deal. I'm going to buy it. I don't know why, because I've already got a bunch of junk in the yard of the house.
Well, she's a looker. It's like taking home the prom queen.
You must come from an ugly county, bro.
Well, I think they spiked the drakes at the school, but she was a 10 at closing time, bro. I can't help what it is now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go. 10's a little strong.
Well, even the ugly ones need loving.
Yeah, true, they do need love. Well, folks, that's our show. Get a couple country boys together. This is the kind of crap that happens. This is the end of our show right now, folks. Do me a favor, be kind to each other, love on each other, treat each other nice. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next time on Autorestomod. So, about the Cougar.
Yeah. No.
That was quick.